Welcome back. In this episode, we're going to talk about, is Alabama a tax lien or a tax deed state? Well, you'll be happy to know I'm going to teach you all the ins and outs of Alabama, and I'm also going to show you some insider tips on how to make money, and then I'll show you how to avoid the mistakes. I'll be right back. Is Alabama a tax lien or a tax deed state? So let's talk about that. But who's this guy, Ted Thomas? Well, Ted Thomas is an old guy that's been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for 30 years. And the first 5, I just did it as an investor. And I got so many questions that I started writing them down. Then the next thing you know, I created a few audio courses. Then I did DVDs, then I did CDs, then I did videos. And the next thing you know, I'm in the business of educating people, and I've ended up as the authority on this subject. And so people come from all over the world to learn how to do it. So welcome aboard. So what about Alabama? Well, the state legislature made the law that if you don't pay your tax, the local government will issue a tax lien certificate. Alabama sells tax lien certificates, and they pay 12%. Now, those tax lien certificates are issued in all 67 counties. So what did all that mean? It means this. A local person didn't pay their property tax. The local money isn't coming in, so the wheels of government are going to stop. So what the local government does is they sell a tax lien certificate. You can buy one, I can buy one. You can buy it for $50, $500, $5,000. When we buy it, that money goes to the county. Now the county finally has money. So what do you have? You have a piece of paper. It's called a tax lien certificate. Now that tax lien certificate is valuable. First of all, the homeowner can't sell the house. They can't trade the house. They can't do anything on their property until you get paid. Now you get paid by law. I mean, the legislature and the local county have protected your money. You will either get paid or you will get that property without a mortgage. Now I won't go into all the procedures right now because we just need to learn what this is all about. So the county sells a tax certificate. You buy the tax certificate and it usually pays an annualized rate of return. And that's what this one pays, annualized. That means over the 1 year's time, this tax certificate will pay you 1% for every single month. Now 1% doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a bundle when you think about Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they're paying 1% for a year. So you're making 12 times what you would at the Bank of America. So that's a nice return. Now you can't invest with me, you have to invest with the local county. Now some of these counties are big, some of them are small. A big county, just because it's populous and there's a lot of people, there'll be a lot of tax certificates. Small county, there'll only be a few. You can do as many as you want to do. Now, there's many states in the United States, but here's how it works. Half of the states, approximately, sell tax lien certificates. The other half sell tax deeds. Now, I'll cover deeds, but we can't get it all done on one video. But you subscribe and you can get all of this information over a period of time. But here's how a tax certificate works. The county sold it to you. If you don't get paid, you can petition the county and the property will transfer to you with no mortgage. Now, that's the key to what we're talking about because you paid just the back taxes. That could be 1 or 2% of value. $100,000 value, 2% would be $2,000. So that was very small tax lien. So you invested $2,000. If they don't pay, you're going to end up with a house for $2,000 with no mortgage. How good is that? Tax lien certificates in Alabama pay 12%. In Florida, they pay 18%. In Iowa, they pay 24%. You're going to learn all of this if you're a subscriber. Why? Because we're going to teach you how to do it online, and we'll teach you all the different ones. In 67 counties in Alabama, you can buy a tax lien certificate. All right, they're always available. They're going to sell them at least once a year at an auction. Now, keep in mind, they're not going to have auction every single month. So you can find the tax lien certificate auctions online, or you could find them at the county, or you could find them in the newspaper. They're going to be available in all those places. Why does the county sell tax lien certificates? Because the county has a whole pot full of bills. What are the bills they have? Well, first of all, they got to pay the school teachers. That's a big check every month. They have to maintain those schools. In addition to that, they have to take care of the roads. What about the police department? They have to pay the firefighters. You're getting the idea. These are a lot of bills the county has to pay. So if the county doesn't get paid, what are they going to do? Some counties, they'll issue a tax lien certificate. That's what we're talking about today. However, in other states, in other counties, what they'll do is they'll issue a tax deed. So if they issue a tax lien, they get money instantaneously. Right away, they get money in, they can pay their bills. That makes the county happy. Sooner or later, most homeowners will come forward and they'll pay their taxes. When they pay the tax, they're going to get their hands slapped because they're paying late, so they're going to pay a penalty. In the case of Alabama, it's going to be 12%. So you're going to have to pay 12% penalty for each year that it's outstanding. Tax lien certificates are very benevolent. What does that mean? That means the state is not going to kick the property owner out. The property owner is going to be able to stay in the property. They haven't paid tax, and they'll have 1 year to pay you. All right, what about some of the other states? Well, the other states, they do things differently. If you decide to buy in a state that sells tax deeds, like in New York, or like California, or like Washington or Oregon, those states all sell a tax deed. Now, a tax deed means the property owner did not pay, but that county is not benevolent. So the county has the power to seize the property, confiscate it, and then sell it at auction. So you'll lose your property. They will kick you out. So if you buy one of those tax deeds, you're actually buying the property that the county already owns. So in many cases, they've cleared the title. Sometimes they haven't cleared the title, but they will sell it to you without a mortgage in almost all cases. So that's a nice deal. So either way, tax liens or tax deeds, you can make money. Now, people make a lot of money doing this. I could tell you about Peggy Palms. Peggy Palms bought 3 little certificates. She invested a couple of $1,000, and she got paid 18% on each one of those. I could tell you about Puff Darlin. She lives in Jacksonville, Florida. She bought 7 properties her first year. Those were tax deed. She made over $100,000 that year. I could tell you about Rocco. What does Rocco do? He likes to buy tax lien certificates in Tampa, Florida. He gets 18% on each certificate. So tax liens always work. They'll always be here. Everything I'm teaching you is over 200 years old. I didn't invent it. I just created systems so you could learn it. You can learn it quickly. You can learn online or you can learn offline. So where do you want to do it? I don't know, but you can do it in every state. Here's an easy state to start with. The one you live in is the best place. But if you want to buy tax liens, figure out which states sell the tax liens and then start online. If you want to do tax deeds, same situation. If they sell tax deeds, start doing it at home. Don't start flying to Miami to do it. Don't jump on the plane and go to Washington. Every year at the end of the year, everybody gets antsy. They say, I got all this money saved up. Well, it just so happens that Washington, like Pierce County, Snohomish County, and those counties, they all have auctions in December. So everybody's saying, oh, nobody's going to do anything in December. Best auctions, people making $40,000, $50,000 on a deal because nobody shows up at the auctions. What if they got 100 properties and 50 people show up? Boy, you got some pretty damn good choices. So the point is, do it in the state you're in to start with. Learn the system. Remember, you can start with $50, $100, $500. You don't have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay, so you learned a little bit about making money today, so that's a good thing. Let's learn a little bit about avoiding mistakes. So I'll tell you about the 2 biggest mistakes. Number 1 is people don't look at the property. If you don't look at a tax lien certificate, I don't know what you're going to end up with. What if it was a piece of junk? Now, if you're in Phoenix, Arizona, and there was 15,000 to choose from, and you just pick one and decide to bid on it, well, that's just luck if it works out. But luck is not a very good business strategy, is it? It's not, so you don't want to do that. So don't pray either. What you really need to do is you need to go out and look at the property. Now, it's going to be the same challenge when you think about tax defaulted property. They call those tax deeds when you buy them. When you buy the tax deed, what are you buying and why are you buying it? Well, hopefully you're buying it so you can get it at rock bottom because you had an auction. When people go to an auction, they're all excited, but they want to win. Forget about winning. Think about buying a property at rock bottom dollar. We want you to buy at 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar. My limit, I tell you to stop at 30 cents on the dollar. Why do I tell you to stop? Because you need margin to go out and sell it. I'm not going to teach you to fix it up. I'm going to teach you to sell it and let the fixer-upper guys do all that. So I'm Ted Thomas, and I'll see you along in the series, so be sure and subscribe.